2007, when Mayor White was in, they tried to engage and get some citizen participation. Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee went and got $500,000 to look at some alternative planning to make sure that the tumbling went under the sidewalks, to try to gain participation. The city went ahead on June 11th and voted for something that did not include what the 2007 plan had included. So we have an opportunity. Why do we have an opportunity? Regardless of where you live in the city, your city council person voted to destroy those bricks. Regardless of where you live in the city. Every one of them raised their hand and said, this is a good thing. Every one of them raised their hand and said, we will destroy them. And therefore, we're asking you to say, I am Jack Snow from District F, and I want you to save the bricks. I am Jeannie Robo from District D, and I want you to save the bricks. I am Jacqueline Quizzo from District I, and I want you to save the bricks. I am Jonathan Smith, and I want you to save the bricks. Because every one of them said that these bricks had no value, that our ancestors did not do anything worth saving. That's what they said. That's the impact of that vote. And that is why the Freedmen's Town Preservation Coalition has come forward in this last ditch effort to stop that destruction to the history of what those people right out of slavery was able to accomplish. Question? Yes, sir.
What happened to the
I don't think that they believed it, and we probably didn't come together as a group. Exactly. I didn't understand it either. But what I did as a newspaper woman, we reported. I tell people we have more stories on Fort Ward than any other issue in our newspaper, and we started in 1983. We have been out there covering. And I want you also to know, I want you to appreciate Elizabeth Spate. She used to be on the school board. Some of you may have known her, some of you all probably thought that she was too arrogant or whatever. But the reason that we have that African American History Library over there is because of Elizabeth Spate. Billy Reagan would come, Superintendent Billy Reagan would come to the board, and some of y'all may be teachers. He would have stacks of papers like that. Spates was a housewife who took her job as a regent seriously. So she took her job seriously, and what she did, she read what was in that stack of papers. And Billy Reagan had buried selling that historic piece of land, because that school was the first place that African American children went to school. Okay? She saw it, and she knew what her powers were as a board of regent. And Elizabeth Spates tagged it and brought light to it. See, the Houston Sun is a newspaper that we illuminate, we bring light. And so when she contacted us, of course we jumped on the story. That is why that building is there, so that we can have that library that we have there now. There was one person who challenged her colleagues, but unlike Spates, we don't have a Spates on our city council right now. Larry Green challenged it for 1 week. Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee had asked for a 2-week delay. None of that happened. Open disregard, disrespect. With them disregarding and having disrespect, they put our city, we're all the city of Houston, they put our city in jeopardy of losing all additional federal funding because they're in violation of the law. And when they took that $500,000 from Sheila Jackson Lee, that triggered the law that says you must follow the consultation, as the Act says, the public participation, as in NEPA, the National Environmental Protection Agency. Those things went into place. And our city council members, they just sat there and they raised their hand and said, let it go. Kill it, destroy it. That's what they did. That is what their action did. Did they know what they were doing? Probably, like Jesus would say, they did not know. So we're going to have to forgive them. So what we're trying to do is educate them. So we need you, the citizens, to educate. Therefore, I'm thinking Freedmen's Town Preservation Coalition is of the belief that when you show up at City Hall with your white top and your black bottom, or however you want to do your black and white, I'm serious, I would like to meet you down there on Tuesday next week. Other things that that's at 1:30, so if you eat, y'all have a bus, Miss Mike, and y'all
We
get
do
to
not have a bus.
y'all have some carpool, there are a lot of cars out there in that lot. How y'all get over here? Y'all get here somehow. But serious, we need a core, you all to come. And if you want to speak, remember you have Mr. Williams there. If you have a desire to help leave a legacy, this is an opportunity. Because it will be here. It is going to be in the history book. And when the lines are written, they will be able to say senior citizens came to the meeting to protest the destruction of those bricks. Nobody's going to do it for us but us. You all know that. You all know that. You know it, you've lived it. You've lived it. And if you want to leave something for your children and your grandchildren, you have to work to leave it. Nobody's going to do it for you. The man just asked, why did we lose all the other part? Because we didn't stand together. Ms. Lou Williams has a slogan that she says, they came for the Jews and we said, we ain't no Jews. They came for this group and they said, we ain't that. They came for that group and they said, we ain't that either. So when they came for us, there was nobody to stand with us. So you need to stand together. We've got to stand together so that we can have something. And you've got to feel the passion of leaving something for that boy or girl that's in your family that looks like you. They need to know Grandpa was here. And I'm from the great state of Mississippi. I worked with Fannie Lou Hamer. I met Dr. Martin Luther King. He held my hand and talked to me. But you know something? What we've got to realize is that we got to stand for something. And why not stand for the bricks? People come from all over the world and look at remnants, runs. I have traveled and I've gone to look at the runs of the Mayan people in Mexico. People do it, so it becomes an income producer for our great city. When you bring your relatives to town, you have something for them to see. You got to do something for them. You just can't sit up in the house. I see you all day. You take them down and let them look at the bridge streets. You tell them the story. Those kind of things are important because what will happen is, as you tell the story, you multiply the story. And as the story is multiplied, the wealth of our people is very multiplied. Any other questions? Can I get a commitment that somebody's going to come down to City Hall on Tuesday? Anybody come down? We'll get away. All right. And you kind of help us get a carpool thing together.
We'll coordinate.
You'll work on that. All right, Ms. Spicer, she'll work on that with you all. And that is important because I'm asking you, I'm going to ask people at Hobby House, I'm going to ask the people at Sunnyside, where I know that they're senior citizens. And another thing that we're looking for folk who are 100 years old or almost. I know you all can get there soon, but I don't think you all are. We're looking